welcome. I'm wondering, as you know, that this session will be about spring and about yourself, and a little bit of coaching, of course. How would you know at the end of the session that it was a good session for you? How would you know in 50 minutes that this one with 50 minutes together, it was a good experience for you? I'm also looking for the answers in the text chat. How would you know at the end of next 50 minutes that this session was a good session for you? Anka wants some connection with Spring and Coaching. Lovely. Thank you, Anka. Shared ideas about coaching in nature. Mhm. Thank you, Sue. And I see support from Julia. Okay, whenever your ideas will come, um, I'll be happy to cover them. What is happening? What happened for me, I think 2 years ago, was that I was working with one of my clients on. She was starting a new business. She used to be an employee, and after that, during pandemic, she said she had to change something, and pandemic gives her enough time to think at herself and really start what she wanted. And while she was investing time and effort in her own business, after several weeks, she started becoming impatient. She saw some progress in some areas, like opening the company, making the papers, spreading the words around that yes, she is doing she's doing something else and she will have some own company. But in the same time, she had the feeling that sometimes she's stuck, sometimes she's blocked, sometimes she cannot progress. And hearing her and looking around, it was spring at the moment. I start mirroring back the fact that yes, the warm temperature came from all the plants. The sun shine for everyone. The rain was here in Romania for everyone. But in the same time, the trees were coming green in their own piece. The flowers start blooming in a different way and in a different piece and somehow spread in time. And even when a cold wind came, not everything was damaged. Some flowers were delayed, some flowers were closed for several days, but after the cold wind passed, they start blooming again. And this helps us to understand that a project, like having a nice spring, can be delayed or can happen somehow during time with different type of support. If for some flower the rain was what was needing, if for some flower was the sun which was needing, the same happened for her projects. For her project to open a company and to have real clients and to have a good speed to market. So if making paper in Romania was a nightmare and this went really, really, really slow, like you can see the nut tree telling, wow, it's amazing. I cannot wait to have your services for myself, like the spring drops, like the small flowers or like magnolia. Everything happened in its own time. And it was needed to have some patience and to grow a little bit of above and look toward the project and the season we are in the order to understand what's going on, what needs to be nurtured, and what needs to be enjoyed, appreciated, and celebrated, even if the market share was not clear yet. So having this understanding, I start putting aside several questions. And if you want to have a go and if you want to try it, we can we can have an experience together in the next minutes. We can move further, Daniela, with maybe the first images and questions. And it is your time to speak right now. Please let me know, what does spring means for you? just for the sake of experience, let's say. I'm looking for a microphone or for something written.
Do you want us to put in the chat or rather speaking?
Both it's okay with me. Mhm. I see from Ching new beginnings. Thank you. Renewal. Great. Rebirth, bird singing, flowers, working in my garden, transition. Mhm. A new energy. Perfect. Remember, my parents were seeing flower seeds from then. So somehow looking back to the roots. Mhm. So it's wonderful what the image you are creating with emerging from dark seasons to the light season, time to grow and create a new energy. Mhm. With this, I think we will go a little bit more specific, and the next question might be on the screen for you. I see that Sue loves to follow the rhythm of the Celtic year. So I need to learn more about that. Maybe you want to share maybe a link or resource for everyone. So if the spring is something new, new beginnings, new energy, renewal, going to the seeds, to the roots, and presenting them to the light. What are you enjoying in this year, spring? Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you. Anna Maria is happy with the birthday in March. Happy new new year, Anna Maria. I see sunshine, I see joy, I see birds, colors, smells. Mhm. So, what are you enjoying in this year, spring? What is special about this spring? Or what is amazing about it? I'm reading A Glorious Warm Weather in England, New Green Growing, Bluebells. Mhm. Just joyful. Thank you, Sue. Anka is discovering the spring around her, as this seems to be the first year when she's really see the spring. This is really new and powerful. How else you're enjoying this year's spring? What else is special to this year's spring? I see a new beginning from Aniko, who is creating her coaching website. Wonderful, Aniko. Congratulations. And Stephen also felt the winter in a heavy way, and right now with spring coming with the sun and the blue sky, came long days again, flowers, trees, green again. So a lot of things are happening around you, and I see that you're observing the worm, the flowers, as Bianca is doing. Perfect. And if you're moving farther, maybe on the next slide we'll have a different question, which is helping you to narrow down a little bit. You observe the energy and all the changes around you. And there they are, it is told, the stories are telling that there are fairies and elves which are here to support all the living creatures. Knowing that those elves and fairies are here to support you, what is special about yourself in this spring? What is special about yourself in this spring? What is special about yourself in this spring? Anka is more open to see. I'm wondering, Anka, what does it mean beyond seeing? Mhm.
May I speak instead
Yes,
of
please.
writing because
Yes.
it's better for me to express in this way. Yeah, for me, this spring is quite about new beginning also, and because I have much more time, like in the past, and that's why I have the impression that I really see the spring, seeing meaning living spring. And I because of the time that I have for little things that in the past I didn't have it or I didn't take it in that way, I can see all the transformation of nature in my garden and around me. I am more passionate about working in the garden and participating somehow. So the transformation of nature is I'm taking part of this, and it seems like I'm also transforming.
Wonderful, Anka. Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
I'm hearing you staying outside. I'm hearing you seeing the garden, and also you finalize with transformation. How do you think you are transforming yourself this spring?
Yeah, it's not quite outside because I have the impression that I'm living the spring or I'm living in the same space with spring. Like it's like in coaching when we are living with the client in the same space. It's the same for me with spring this year. And uh, yeah, once again, what was the question, Bianca? Sorry.
So I'm hearing you saying that you feel like transforming yourself
Mm-hmm,
during this
mm-hmm,
spring.
mm-hmm,
And you mentioned the time to see, the time for gardening, the time
mm-hmm,
for little things you never had
mm-hmm.
time to,
Yeah.
and about enjoying being in nature, enjoying working the garden,
Mm-hmm.
and also growing from inside, transforming from inside,
Mm-hmm.
being more open to see. So my question was, how are you transforming?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you for remind the question. I have the feeling that I'm living small changes and in the same time are big changes. It's like in spring that I don't know, something is transforming from a seed to a plant in the end. It's the same way that I feel like small seeds are growing in me and with me. And I'm growing like a seed. It's an interesting metaphor for me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anka. Please keep it
Thank
with
you
you.
for this inspiration, Bianca. I really enjoyed.
I'm glad. Who else wants to share as just Anka did? How do you feel like finding a new way to enjoy life or to bloom yourself this spring? From what I saw in the text chat, I'm reading what you just said with different from a different perspective. I'm seeing roots being honored with planting flowers on them. I um, I see a year celebration, a life year celebration. I see the chance to see spring. I see a new project started, creating a website, which means exposure, means it means blooming outside. Mhm. I see that Stephen discovered this spring as being highly, very uplifting. And he discovered himself spending more time connecting with nature. Hmm? Wonderful. I'd like to change a little bit the paradigm because as we arrive to live a lot inside, we tend to say man and nature, or we say I'm going outdoor to be part of nature. But I think we forget the fact that around several thousand years ago, we were living in the nature and we were born in the nature, living in the nature, growing in nature, and so on. And the fact that we simply extract it from outside and move inside and spend our time between walls doesn't mean we are not part of nature because we are nature. I'd like to say that we are not separated, but we are human natures which are living somehow inside, indoor. So when the spring is happening outside, it's happening everywhere, including in-house, including indoor. And whenever, if we are seeing or not, or observing or not, if you are giving us time to observe, maybe it's a good moment to ask yourself how you really bloom, grow during this season. And Daniela, I think we can move further a little bit. And it is exactly what I tried to say and how it was said from by Sue and in the text chat, and also how it was said, um, I think by Stephen, after growing those heavy winter. In the spring, we are taking the sap, the fluids and the energy from earth or from within, and where we were closed for the winter. And with that, we are spreading our wings and blooming outside in the sun. So my question for you, it is, while you are expanding this entire energy from inside or from your roots towards to the world, how are you noticing how you are seeing yourself doing that in this spring? I see a first answer coming from Siobian, spending time outdoors and savoring the nature world. Lovely. How else? You can open the mic to answer if it's easier for you instead of writing. Lifts the mood and enhances well-being. Thank you. And how else? Planting seeds and flowers and working with the soil. Wonderful, Aniko. Thank you very much. And moving a little bit farther, as you had the chance to see the spring outside yourself, to feel it inside yourself, now it is time for expression. So We will move to, yes, thank you, having a look at the projects or fields where your life, in your life, what is already blooming with this spring energy which is with you. Looking at the projects or field in your life, what is already blooming?
I think I take the mic.
Thank you. It's easier.
Um, um, I have to tell my children because they have just turned 18, so they are now young adults, and my daughter is just preparing for her final exam from the secondary school. So it's a big change of life in our families, family life,
Hmm.
that they are turning adults. And as a mom, I also have to find, other meanings of my life.
I'm hearing your joy that your kids are becoming young adults and somehow spreading their wings. It was a little bit of proudness in your voice, like, and confidence in the same time, and a sort, I may say, sorrow that they are doing that. A lot of joy, but also a little bit of sorrow. And I heard how the tone of your voice changed when you said that you, as a mom, should look for something else to do. Mhm. It's it's nice to see that, yeah, kids are ready to to fly away from nests very early, as it only may. But I'm hearing that you are ready for a new beginning, or you are aware that a new beginning should start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also have to leave because I have to take my daughter to the school where she's going to have her exam on Monday
Hmm.
to,
Thank you,
to
Aniko.
check to check it out where it is because it's a different school where she's learning now.
Mhm.
Thank you all.
Thank you. I see your emotion. All the best to your daughter and son, of
Thank you.
course.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. Mhm. What are the other projects and fields which are progressing? I see choose more intentionally what I like to work on from Anka. This is like a tree sending the energy of a spring in a certain branches. And yes, this is happening in nature. Some trees are giving up at some branches and they are blooming and having nice branches in the other part of the crown. Mhm. I see coming out from winter, stalled projects are now progressing, like the spring energy is going into those projects and they are enriched. Great. And through that, we see both blooming projects and awaken to life projects, those who are stuck in the winter. Moving farther, we'd say, Daniela, if you can move farther a little bit. As we talked about new projects or turning the energy towards one branch or about a mom looking for something else to do. Um, what unexpected or unknown helpers do you have in this spring? What unknown helpers or unexpected helpers do you have with you to this spring? The picture which is supporting is stating that during spring we have birds which are coming to stay with us and they maybe will live in the fall. And also there are some birds which are migrating from farther than our places, not staying for several days with us and moving forward. And they enrich our days with their song, with their flight, with the image of freedom and transitioning also. So looking at the people around you, what unexpected helpers or unknown helpers are coming to enrich your life or projects these weeks? I see Stephen being supported by colleagues at universities. At university, wonderful. I hope they're around you for entire year, not only in the spring, coming and going. Mhm.
They've been particularly helpful actually today. So that's what's made me put it into the chat there. So I'm in the
Wonderful,
moment. I'm in the moment.
wonderful. How did you feel when you realized that they are helping you?
Very pleased. It's something that's cropped up today, and so I'm very pleased. So, with a very good outcome.
Wonderful.
So I'm very pleased.
Thank you, Stephen. So if somebody will help you, or just helped you, or it's about to help you, if you're looking around, who might be those persons?
It's one of those things, though, really, because you don't always know who's going to help and whether it's a part of nature as well as people in themselves. So help can come from literally unexpected places, I think.
Exactly. Thank you.
And also with the connection with nature. If I want to get inspiration on a day like today when the sun's out and it's spring with the flowers out, the trees in green, it's great to go for a short walk to become more creative and actually get ideas literally as I'm just walking. I live in the country just outside London, so it allows that to happen. And if I get kind of a block, if I'm writing something, then going for a short walk actually is very helpful. And it doesn't have to be a long walk, can be kind of a power walk, just a small walk. But and that connection with nature always seems to help.
Thank you, Stephen. Exactly as you said, having small walks when the spring is in the air, and in Romania, the weather may be quite cold or moody during the spring. We know that when the storks are coming, it is definitely the winter is gone. And when there are those small birds with the tail like in a fork. I don't remember the English name of those. When those small birds are coming, we know that the moody cold air in the spring is also gone. Not only the winter, but the moody cold spring cold air is gone. And it is exactly what I think it's happening in life, that some people give certainty that the cold time is gone and the project is going well or our life is going well. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And I see an input from Sylvian, well-being supported by spending time with animals, which, by the way, usually in the spring they start having babies. And it is the most wonderful time starting now on to visit a zoological garden. Mhm. And if we are moving further with our session, I'm wondering now, as you clearly had the seeds, as you clearly took the energy from the soil or from within, and you start blooming outside to the life, and you know that the helpers like elf or fairies or I don't know birds are around you to support you. How would you know at the end of the spring this season, the spring 2025, it was an amazing season for you, an amazing spring for you. How would you know at the end of the spring that this season was an amazing one for you? It's okay to speak if you feel like. Sylvian has a clear view that the time of the spring was spent with family and enjoying outdoor spaces. Thank you. How else would you know at the end of the spring that this season was an amazing one for you? I'm looking for the last answer.
If I was thinking about project work, it would be about the projects now getting back on the road, actually progressing, and by the end of spring, some of them would met kind of key stages in their development. So, in that respect, I can see it regarding projects. But that's such a large question, because you can be talking about any aspect of one's own life, or something as small as one's own garden, for example. So it's hard to interpret that question because there's so many different ways we could answer it. I personally think.
Thank you, Stephen. Indeed, the question is put broader in order to have everyone having a glimpse of it and to have it something which can resonate too. It can be looked to the life, or it can be looked to the project once he's working at. And it also gives the space to say, even if the project is larger than this spring, at the end of the spring, we know that, I don't know, we have the wings, or we have the energy, or the first part of blooming in the air, or the seed spread, or the first growing, just as a nice milestone for the other seasons which are coming. And as we arrive at this somehow theoretical aspect, what I'm actually doing when I'm performing coaching and I'm placing and I'm using spring or other season as as um, as a support, or a resource. First of all, I'm placing the person, the client, in space. And when I'm doing that, I'm trying to see what is the nature element which can help in that situation. If it's something, it's a small flower which born now and will be gone in 2 days, transforming the beauty in the seed, or it is a huge tree which lasts for centuries. What is the time or the results of the plant I'm looking for, and how that plant can support the person. Second, I'm using the own rhythm. As I started at the beginning, some plants need sun, and everything is blowing in 2 days, or some needs to wait, like the nut tree. Even if it's so strong, the leaves in the nut tree are not green yet. Is it something which is blooming first, or it's something which show the leaves and capture the sun or the energy, and only after that is blooming? Is the blooming ending with a seed, or is some other way that the plant is projecting the next plant which will grow? Because if I'm taking the oak, which is a strong tree, the oak is so big while the seed is so small, and he's creating thousands of them every year, yet only those which are taken by the wind or by the birds and fly away have the chance to become a small oak tree. Usually the oak seeds which are falling under the oak they are not blooming. They're not growing because they don't have enough light to do that. So here, when I'm talking with a person which wants to expand the project, I'm saying, okay, what type of tree is the one which is supporting the image of the project? What is the space that person creates in the project or around herself in that project for other people to support and to work with? I'm also using the idea of weather. I'm playing with the sun or with the wind or with the rain or lack of rain to transport a situation in a project in a weather. And talking about the weather, it's easier for the person to go outside the trouble she or he faced in the project and come back in the project with a different understanding, just because it's talking about the weather and how the plants are growing into the sun or facing a storm and being able to recover after the storm. Weather and how I don't know, nature in the city, everyone can understand. So it's easy to work with that. And also I'm working with the energy, because every person, even those who are living a lot indoors, are feeling that when the daylight it's larger, like it's growing, like it's happening visibly happening in the spring comparing with the winter. I start asking questions like, okay, how is your nowadays energy better than it was in December or January? How do you feel differently? How do you act differently? How this is visible in your project, in what you are doing? How this is visible in how you are interacting with other people? And using this daylight growing or the energy coming with the daylight helps the person to be aware about the fact that something changed and she's more capable, more ready to do things or find better habits, as I think Syobian proposed before, to go outside, spend some time in nature and change the mood with the nature. This is what is coming coming to me right now. Your questions about how to use spring in coaching. Or your experience in using the weather or a season in coaching.
I would like to say something, Bianca.
Sure.
I'm also using some association with nature elements. I would not say nature because I didn't do it consciously, but sometimes the clients are getting used to bring metaphor for their reflections, and some of these metaphors are coming from nature. I'm always happy when they are coming with metaphor because I really believe in the power of metaphor. And for me, um, this workshop and the way you presented the nature and use one season for this, it is quite much deeper and much profound that I was thinking that you can use nature in coaching. And I think for the people that are open for this kind of metaphor, yeah, this can be very powerful. Thank you for bringing this dimension for me.
Thank you, Anka. Any other experience in using nature or seasons in coaching?
Yeah, I've done outdoor coaching and also outdoor coaching via mobile phones when there was in COVID, when we couldn't actually see our clients. We'd walk outside wherever we were in the country or Europe, and we'd be outside with our mobile phones talking to each other. And there would be the contact with nature, and also my client would maybe send photographs of where they are, so I could get a hand on what they're doing as well. And we'd use that, the very aspect of nature and the environment as well they were in when we were having our meetings. And also the metaphors you're talking about, I use something similar when I'm doing coaching. Inside the coaching, let's say, or Zoom coaching. It doesn't have to be outside, because you can, when you talk about these metaphors, they do create a vision, a picture or almost like a video, depending upon what you're talking about. So the client can take it away, the metaphor, and actually see something to do with the connection with nature as well. So I do think personally, it's very powerful using nature, that connection with nature. And there's so much research to underpin and inform this kind of approach, I personally think. So I'm very keen on it. I've published some research papers on this kind of connections and doing research, along with Siobhan, who's attending this today as well. So I'm very keen on it. But the spring element's an interesting one that you've raised today. It's been very, very interesting.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm glad to hear that you use going outside to the COVID during COVID time, and even the motion and having the idea of outdoor for those who are staying in and finding out about their environment, even you could not meet in person, I think helps a lot and change the energy of the coaching session, both
Yeah.
for yourself and especially for the client.
Yeah, well, the research we did, it has an effect on both parties as well. Is the other crucial thing. But what was surprising is that some of my colleagues would do outdoor coaching with phone during COVID without the camera on, whereas I automatically would have the camera on, so I could see the client, they could see me, and also we could see each other's countryside or the beach, depending upon where they're walking. So it's interesting how people interpret it and do things in their own way.
Yep. Wonderful. And I'm wondering if you ever use the countryside or the beach or the sea as a part of, as a resource or an element for your coaching to the client.
Yes, yeah. So there's what we call the horizon view technique, which I've done some research on. So we're doing outdoors coaching or therapy, or if you're just doing it over Zoom, let's say, and you're indoors, both of you indoors, actually using photographs or getting them to look at the horizon, or using horizon photographs in the Zoom session, because quite often we found that the clients, especially the outdoors coaching or outdoors therapy, if they're looking at horizon, it tends to put their problems into more perspective. They start to sometimes de-awfulize or decatastrophize the problem, because they just seeing the horizon has that kind of minimizing effect, and it seems to give them a bigger perspective, in my experience. And I will be writing a paper about this soon.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm curious to see your articles on that. I'll be happy to learn about it. And if you can share with the entire Solution Focus community, it will be amazing.
Yeah.
And dear guys, I think we are just ending our time together, and we are 3 minutes late. So thank you very much for joining me in this small spring coaching topic. I hope this spring will come with you, and you will find a new way of blooming while you're doing coaching with your clients.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be very happy to be in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, too. Bye for now.